Hey, my name is Madeline. I am the wine expert and designer at Wine Folly, and this is a demonstration on how to use our latest product, the wine tasting placemats. These tasting placemats will help you keep track of your tastings, but also improve your ability to taste for quality and to blind taste wine. For the sake of this exercise, I taken one of these mats and cut it into 4 pieces, so it's easier for me to show you how to use. You can do this too if you want, if you're just doing a comparison of 1 or 2 wines. Okay, let's get started. When you take a look at these mats, you'll notice they're organized into 4 sections. There is a look section, assess how the wine looks. And there is a smell section. What are the aromas in this wine? And think very much about the flavors and aromas. There is a taste section. And finally, details about the wines which you can get from the bottle. Okay, let's take a look at this wine and start going through the sections together. First section we look at is look. And if you're familiar with Wine Folly, I would highly recommend taking a look at the complete color chart to get actual representations of what those hues look like that are mentioned on your tasting mats. First thing we'll look at is the intensity and the hue of the wine. The intensity of the wine is how intense that color is, or in the case of red wine, how opaque the color is. This is white wine, and I can tell you right now, this looks like it's a medium gold color. Alright, so I'll take my pen and write that in. Medium gold. Next thing we want to look at is the viscosity of the wine. You can put the wine on the side of the glass and then watch for the wine tears as they pour off the side of the glass. You can actually see them coming and forming on the side of my glass right here. Look at that. I would say this looks about medium, maybe even medium plus viscosity. So I'll write the position of viscosity at medium high. Okay. How does this wine smell? First thing is intensity, as how strongly does this wine smell? I can tell you right now, just smelling it only so far from the glass, that it's actually quite intense. I'd put it at maybe medium-high to high intensity. The next thing you want to try to do is to identify the fruit flavors and the other flavors, possible oak and earth flavors. I like to really split this up into sections and identify each one individually. So the first thing I'm going to shoot for is fruit. What fruit aromas do I get in this wine? I get a baked yellow apple, baked yellow apple, sweet pineapple, and mango. Okay, so I've identified 3 fruit aromas. Now I'm going to look for other aromas in this wine. This wine is a Chardonnay, and I'm also getting some aromas I associate commonly with oak, and those aromas include, and I'll fill them in on the oak section down here, butter, caramel, and maybe creme brulee. This is a very toasty wine. Those aromas I happen to know all are associated with oak aging, but if you're confused, you can take a look at the wine aroma wheel, which shows a whole section on oak aging. Okay, now as far as herb, other, and oak and earth, I do get a slight characteristic of white flowers. I might say they're like apple blossom. That's a little more specific. And I get a subtle earthiness in this wine, which I think is very interesting because it is an American wine, but it has a slight chalkiness to the aroma. There's something very chalky about it. Almost like that smell when you hit, if anyone ever had chalkboards in their life, when you take the 2 chalkboard erasers and you smash them together. Okay, so I have some notes on the aromas, and the next thing I want to do is assess the taste. It really helps to spread that wine throughout your palate. Breathe in and out through your nose. after you taste to get the retronasal. This wine tastes dry to me. So I'll write that in. It's not exactly bone dry, but it's definitely dry. Bone dry to me would be so dry that I'm almost thirsty after taking a drink of it. Acidity tastes actually medium high. It really has a punch of acidity right off the front. Next thing is tannin. I might ignore that because I'm not tasting tannin in this white wine. Alcohol level to me, if you feel the heat in the back of your throat, you can make a guesstimation or you can just look on the bottle for the answer. I would say this tastes medium high to me, so between 13.5 and 15%. And finally, the body of this wine. In terms of all wine, I have to remember this could be compared to red wine as well, but in the terms of wine in general, it's about in the middle. My final notes, I might add a few other things associated with the taste of the wine, particularly how it progresses on my palate. So in the case of this wine, I would say explosive on the palate with juicy acidity. Finish, then I noted it was finish was not too long, maybe about 15 to 20 seconds. Alright, that pretty much sums it up. I really hope you enjoy the new tasting mats. They're a lot of fun to use to get your mind working. And if you have any questions, you're always welcome to contact me on Facebook or Instagram. You can email me too. It's madeline@winefolly.com. And cheers!